Yeah, I don't have a current game, so we're just gonna go new game and shit. I guess we should call this one a different one. I guess I also need to make sure that I've got one that will work on this. I didn't generate any... Hold on, I'm trying to remember this. I don't think it's like... Actually, hold on, let me have a look at continue game. What have we got here? Okay, yeah, no, continue game does have my previous one. It's fine. I just wanted to make sure that it was sitting there. It's been a fucking while since I've had more than a single save. So I guess we'll just call this one like second save. Keep it simple. I don't mind that. I think that one's in more desert country. I played that one for a while, but that one's 20. Hold on. Was it 19? That would be our current one. Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. I don't really care if it's whatever. Let's see. I still got 300% on this for like the first run around and stuff like that. Just kind of like see how I feel about it. It should pick up all the old settings that I had for each version. That's what I noticed. There's no like feral sense or bullshit like that. So yeah, I should be good. I don't know how long this will take to load in, so I'll just like let it run and shit. But yeah, while we're waiting for that, I can enable my little like picture thingy. Where is it? My little slideshow thing. Should be that. Yeah, so my builds, Mitsu. That one that's on the screen at the moment was my original base that I learnt to play 7 Days to Die on and stuff. And yeah, I spent most of my time in my base, and I spent a little bit of time out the back mining, and that place was like my second place. I played that one more solo and stuff. That was on this version. I remember not liking the version because they changed something, but I don't remember what they changed, and I was mostly playing it pretty much solo. So, but like I had that fucking tower and shit with like the 9-story wall and shit. It was great. But yeah, no, I enjoy building and farming and interior design of my base and stuff. Like all of that shit's painted. And yeah, you just kind of, some of it you can't kind of do in the newer ones, or it's a real fuck around to do it. Like my last base, I just shacked up on the roof somewhere, because I found that every time I went out of my base, or even while I was at my base, I was getting hordes of screamers, like green screamers, and then I was desperately trying to get enough resources to get to deal with Blood Moon, and then, you know, I was dealing with Blood Moon and the screamers, and like I just felt like I wasn't progressing. As a solo player, I just felt like I was never getting anywhere, whereas I'm sure in like groups maybe it was a bit more manageable, but I don't really know. The base that's on the screen at the moment, I actually had my storage boxes were hidden in the walls where those green panels are. And that's something I miss with the newest version is you can't like paint or hide your storage boxes. Like one of my mates used to literally like paint his storage box and hide it as like a part of a wall in our buildings and stuff, and so he always like squirreled away shit, and we just never knew where it was. But he always said that he had storage and shit of his own, and yeah, it was literally the external structure of the building that we were all housed in and stuff. I just, you know, I didn't know where it was until I accidentally found it one day when I was upgrading my base. So yeah, I miss that shit. Wasteland could be an unforgiving place. Found you naked and left for dead with no supplies. It looks like you've crossed the Duke in a bad way. You could use some help. Encloses a short guide to help you survive. If you complete it, we might just take in a new citizen. White River Settlement. It's real and it's safe. Peace with your friend. So, yeah, this is more what I kind of remember. It's like the shit that just pops up. So the reason why I wanted to look at this one over 18 was, you see how we've got like the health and the water bar down the bottom? Also, last time I got dropped in really close to the traders. I also like how we've just got water on the side of the road. I love that. So I got a building over there. I think what I'm gonna do is, let me come over here. I was gonna say, I'm like, I'll just pick up a rock and where are the rocks? Are there no rocks in this version? No, wait. I know. I was gonna say, I'm like, where the fuck the rocks go? There's a couple over there. I like how, okay, I can tell you right now, I love the fact that this version isn't holding my fucking hand for finding rocks. I'm enjoying that. Give me this. I also like the color. I like the darkness of the older versions. That's something I really want in my zombie horror fucking genre games. So I kind of want to get rid of a couple of the questings, but what we used to do is wherever you started, I need a couple of plant fibers. Wherever you started, you throw down a block and that tells you where you were. Yeah, I want that, but I also saw, I guess I need more plant fibers for that. Okay, so you need plant fibers for this. This is cool. Oh, man. Okay, I can probably make that. I'll probably wait a second. Let's just chuck it down, get it done. The other thing too is 18 didn't have, this game is lacking, jumping a bit. Yeah, I was looking at that on my Streamlabs. I'm like, it looks like it's, Streamlabs might be struggling to pick it up. Hold on. Come back here, you. It could also be my internet too, or my network and shit, because my partner's currently trying to rebuild our Plex, like our movie server. So let me let it back to automatic and see if that helps it. Okay. Let me just try it on automatic. I know we're about to get an ad break, but let me move around a little bit. It's still kind of choppy. Hold on. I've moved, but it's not picking up that I've moved. Although it's doing better with my avatar for once. Hold on a second. I just realized that, like, even if I were to get my partner to try to help sort out what he's doing at the Plex, he's in the bathroom. So let's throw that back onto this. See if, what did I do then? Hey, Weaver, welcome back. Yeah, let's try. Okay, we're gonna have to bear with this for at least a little bit until I hear him rustling around out there, because I know he's gone to the bathroom. And I wasn't, I did ask him if this was going to impact my stream at all, but the consensus was that it shouldn't. And I was like, yeah, I wonder. All right, let me check that there. This will be like my starting point. So yeah, guessing that it is going to impact it. So hopefully it's not too shitty and it doesn't like lag around. It looks like it's having an absolute stroke. Hold on, let me try to close a couple of extra programs I've got open. See if it's anything to do with resources on my computer. It shouldn't be. Don't I need open? I don't need that. And yeah, no. That's probably as much as I can skim off for now. Well, actually, there's one more tab I can get rid of. Hold on. Get rid of that for the minute. All right, that should be pretty much as light as I can run shit on my computer. So if it's not my computer, then it will be Plex. It's a Plex being big baby to rebuild. It basically is. It really is. So our server is connected to, one of the hard drives died. We had to get a replacement. And in the process of replacing it, we also had to try to recover what was on that. And make sure everything's all set up and shit properly and stuff. But I know he wanted to upgrade something as well. I wasn't really like aware of what it is that he wants to upgrade, but he wanted to upgrade something. And he's been wanting to do it for ages, but hasn't wanted to because of the delicacy of the old hard drive and shit. So now we just did it because we don't have a choice. But yeah, that's probably going to be doing stuff for the next 3 days. And I'm hoping that it's not impacting streams because, yeah, I don't want it to. Ah, yeah, hold on. That is the game. Just then. Game had a bit of a stroke. I'm like, please don't crash. What is this building? I'll tell you what, this is a more interesting, like, first house to run up to, because, like, some people, they'll launch up into, like, the first house. There's a zombie over there, too. There's one of the tourist guys. Let's head towards this way. Yeah, hopefully it doesn't lag out too much. Like I said, as soon as I can hear him rummaging around out in the kitchen, I'll call out to him. But the game is also having a mild stroke as well. So there is that. Oh, hello. Let's get my stuff out. I figured out why my PC crashed that one day, because it was broken. Oh, yeah. Broken beyond the potential fans and cleaning and stuff. So I remember you said you had to, like, clean it. I'm also curious to see what kind of zombies we've got in this one. So far, the trash isn't too bad. Okay, we've got glass jars, we've got brass doorknobs. That's some good shit. We got water jars, and we've got... And the water looks good in this one. Looks a little bit smoother. I want to fight some of the zombies because I want to get a closer look at some of them. Mate. Spent like 2 days trying to repair it and learned many new things along the way. Nice. Yeah, so what I want to do with whichever 7 days I end up settling with, right? I want to be able to go back to enjoying going around and building and scavenging and doing some quests and stuff, and not feeling like the game is constantly holding its middle finger up at me and the devs are like constantly like chuckling about like my death and stuff, because that's what the current game feels like. A lot of people, I've watched a few people play it 2.0, and I've listened to a few people's like responses about it and stuff. Oh yeah, we got the cheerleader ones and stuff. We do have variety. Nice. Because they X'd out like a lot of the female zombies later on. I also want to get a look. I want to get a good look at the crawler zombie, because the crawler zombie in 18 was a full-bodied zombie. So that will be interesting, because they said they're only just bringing in like a crawling mechanism for zombies and stuff like that to be able to crawl under surfaces, but they've had that since 18. I also want to see how this ultimately runs, because I'm like, if it's an older version game, 18 was very lightweight. 18 was so lightweight on my computer. I was only running at like 2%. I should be able to increase my graphics for it. Whereas 1.0 was running at nearly 20%. It's a pretty big fucking change in like weight. And 19's having a stroke with stream, so we will see. Like I said, if it gets clearer at any point and you guys are still here, like let me know. But play-wise, from my perspective, playing it, it's running very smoothly, and I kind of like how the shadows are looking. I don't know how well... I hold still for a second. I guess they're not really glittering for you guys. But the shadows look very glittery to me. I'm trying to get like a bit of a look at what you guys are sort of seeing. Like, hold on. That's not going to show me. Maybe. Hold on. Give it a second. Yeah, it's been choppy as shit. I think that's got to be Streamlabs. So hold on. How is Streamlabs usage going? Because I don't want it to be shit for you guys trying to watch it either, but I'm pretty sure if I change it over to the other one, hold on, let me see if it's try that, see if you'll capture it. No. Let me see if I can bring in a new pickup of it. You stay there. You go hide. I know we lost the game for a second, but just bear with me. I kind of want to see if I can pull in. We did this the other week because it's just how it's going. I want you to capture a specific thing. Are you able to? Maybe? I have a zombie creeping up on me too during this. Not that. Let me get rid of that one. I think I did this last time too. Yeah, get rid of that. Okay. And let's try a different window capture. Let's try... I don't know what it thinks it's going to pick up automatically. Try that. Now, before I forced it to work, but if I... Yeah, no, I've got to work with the one I've got. All right, let me get rid of that. Get over here. Actually, what is that? Try that. Let me just... Nah, I've moved. I've moved since then. That one ain't working either. All right, so the old ones, really interestingly, have an issue with how they pick up. I don't know which one I clicked on then. Oh, I've got one of these in the way. That's fine. I must have added 2 when I did it. There we go. As it turns out, the battery was just dead, so I replaced it. It worked perfectly. Yeah, that's the only thing sometimes with PCs is sometimes like the power supply can like cause more issues, and what do you call it? It can also like damage shit too if it's like not working properly or not bringing in as much power as it should be. I do want to have a look in this house if I can figure out how to get in. Oh yeah, at the back. It definitely looks like it's being like extra choppy on stream, although no, there it went back to it. Yeah, no, as like I said, I'm gonna keep like wandering around and shit, but as soon as I can, because this is the thing is I can test run this stuff when I'm not live, but sometimes I won't do this stuff until I am actually like using my internet usage and shit. I wanted to kind of see what was in houses and stuff, but I don't actually... Yeah, there we go. I don't actually want to like loot out a house or anything. It's kind of like want to wander around. Last time I got into like a good few biomes, which was cool because in 18, when I originally played, I was mostly like a homebody, staying in my base and like only going short distances, only going on group quests and shit. 19, I actually played and I roamed around a fair bit. There's a crawly dude. Okay, so crawly dude on this one looks like he's the chopped up looking version. Yeah. Okay, so 18's got like a full body. 19's got like a chopped up, like dragged out kind of thing. I don't need the grass. Not yet. Well, I do for like the starting quest thing, but I don't for the moment. So I've seen so far about probably 5 different zombies, give or take. I love this shit too. The random generated maps that can't random generate properly. Love it. Oh man. Yeah, I'm hoping that whatever's going on with Plex, I can potentially pause it. I just don't know where it's up to at the moment, what process he's got it up to, because I know earlier, before I went live, he got it up to a point where he was pretty confident that it would be safe to stop it if we needed to. I still like the fact that you don't always get loot. That was one thing I wanted to check because I like that about 18. Is you look into some stuff and sometimes there is not loot. I really like it. I also like the fact that the mailboxes don't automatically look like they're perpetually stuck open. Although it is interesting how like the zombies are just kind of like casually everywhere. I feel like the ground coverage, like my view distance isn't as far. Oh my god, the fucking hill in the background. My view distance doesn't feel like it's as far for like rendering grass and stuff, so I feel like I'm seeing the zombies easier. But at the same time, there's probably, I feel like almost more. I also love this where they've put the POI down and it's flattened it perfectly to line. I love that shit. I don't even really know why. I think from a building perspective, it makes it really easy to kind of like look at that and be like, ah, yes, I could build a fence on that like flat wall and stuff like that. I am trying as much as possible to like pause and like let it catch up to what I'm doing and shit. Now, I do want to see if one of these versions took away honey out of stumps. And I thought it was 20. Because I'm pretty sure... I don't think I got honey then. I'll keep an eye on that too, because I want to look around. I don't think it mattered to me in 18. Because I think you used to get antibiotics more often. Like, I got a lot of painkillers so far. I've got like 3. So there's that. But yeah. Like, worst case scenario, like, it would really suck if I can't fully test this on stream this week because Flex is doing shit. But, like, I would be totally willing to, like, stop it sooner. Probably, I don't usually do this, but play something else and then play it again the following week or, like, swap it with a day later in the week when I know I can, like, safely actually play it and shit. Just to test it, you know. Just because I don't want it to be a laggy piece of shit for the whole night. Hey, mate. So the other thing too is, so far I've seen at least like 1 female zombie. They used to have nurse, they had a female doctor, they had a cowboy, a footballer. I also wanted to see if this changed. It counts as food. Okay, this is where I remember the snowberries being good for you. You could eat them. Because I remember them being bad, and I remember them more so being good and edible. They don't cause dysentery, but they don't give you health. The other ones in 18 hurt you. So I liked when you could walk around and you could get snowberries just in a field like this kind of thing, because you could just get random berries. It made perfect sense that you could walk through a grassland and get food, you know? I should probably be harvesting more stuff as I go. I'm kind of like trying to lock in on maybe where a town should be. I think I went the wrong way. But look at this. Look at this mapping, though. Mind you, it honestly looks like somebody's like zoomed out and like put the lines in and stuff. But there's a bunch of houses that... I mean, the road between them's a bit wonk, but where am I in relation to the wall? I'm really far from the wall, so yeah, going inwards makes sense. What about upwards? Yeah, I'm pretty far from upwards. Okay, I must be in the bottom corner-ish of the map. I'm okay with that. That's fine with me. God, I wish she had eyebrows. She's got like eyebrows, but she doesn't have eyebrows, but this is so funny. This is also something that I miss. This is something I don't like that they changed. But where's my skills? I don't have the magazines. I'm fine with that. We have... Does this still have... yeah, sexual Tyrannosaurus. Yeah, we still got that. Because I was going to say, when we had this was a good thing. Specialized in unleashing a relentless assault of blows guaranteed to leave your prey slack-jawed at unyielding stamina. That sounds a lot more like Pummel Pete. Knocking your foes senseless to clubs and bats. Okay. I remember this increased like... reduced melee and tool stamina by 8%, power attacks by 15. Yeah. So, okay, I did Sledgehammer with my very first person that I ever had. That's another thing too, is what about javelins? Can I make a... Let's get that out of the way. Can I make a javelin? Get those two. I think I made more than that. Stone spear. What do I need for this? I need more rocks and maybe more wood. I'll cut down a proper tree. The other thing too is I don't know which version has the shitty chainsaw sound. One of them's got a sound effect on the chainsaws that sounds like, I don't know, squeaky plastic. It sounds terrible. But I didn't get a chainsaw in 18, nor in this. But I do remember using a chainsaw originally in 18. And I'm pretty sure I felt like it sounded like a chainsaw. Because I had a lot of beef with when it changed. There's a rock. I don't feel like I'm going near a city. I'm looking around for like any kind of like sort of buildings through the trees or anything like that, but I'm not seeing any. Okay, craft me a thing, but I want to make a spear. What do I need for that? I need a couple more rocks. Well, apart from potentially mining a boulder, which is what they encourage you to do in like 1 Beyond. Also, how are the eggs? Eggs do count as food and health. Okay, cool. Because one of the versions, it counts towards like causes dysentery or some shit. So I got myself a club. I honestly won't use that. I also won't use those two. They would be probably pretty useful later. Let me put down a new block. This also... Okay, so this is the version where the floor comes up to meet it. Got it. Anybody that doesn't know quite what I mean is you see how this is like flat and you can kind of... I don't know how well you can see underneath the box. See how you can see the surface underneath the box? So in one of the versions, the floor comes up to meet the box. And if you put down enough of them, it will level that dip there to be flat up at the base of the box. So yeah, that's the thing that happens. Now I shouldn't have enough rocks for a campfire. I'll do a campfire later. Let me take this with me. I don't feel like this takes as long to break as 18 did. Oh, I love that. Actually, there's a good point. Rebar. I think it's either rebar or metal something. There's iron bars, metal frames, rebar. Yeah, okay, rebar blocks do exist. Cool, and the moldy bread does too. Sweet, okay, so that's not that different. Wooden storage boxes. I saw wet cement. Come back here. I want to see the wet cement. Wet concrete block. Yes. Okay. Magnificent. So they took that away in one of the versions where you put down wet cement. Like you get cement and you can upgrade the rebar blocks to be cement. And then they changed it that you have to, like it makes solid cement straight up. But in possibly this version and definitely 18, they had a ability to put down wet cement, and then after you let it dry, you could upgrade it again with one more bout of cement, and then I think you could go iron and steel. Like you could upgrade it to that. Actually, that's another thing too, is one of these versions took away steel as the top strongest form of blocks. I think that was 20. I think that was version 20 because I had a big issue with it because I collected a lot of materials to make iron and steel. I'll put that down. I'll probably have to eat those berries soon too. No. Go back to my inventory. Oh, where are you going? There we go. I'm pretty sure I can't pick this back up. No. Okay, I can't pick it up like that. You prove to be capable of much potential. We have marked your location nearest White River Outpost. Alright. Actually, where am I in relation to that? I need to repair that. What have I not got enough rocks? I actually don't. There's one. That should be enough. Right? Yeah. Okay, cool. Okay. I got my thing back. Well, in materials. Let's see. Where's the traders that I'm a kilometer away? Oh, I was going the right way, though. Look at that. You're right. We're going to keep going that way. We're going to keep going that way for the moment. All right.